Okay, welcome to Really Relatable, a podcast where we hope you find inspiration, laughter, joy. And this week we're going to roll right into it with a small business shout out.
Yes, we got our small business shout out for Nikki's. Is it pub or bar?
I don't know. Michael, you go.
Or is it just called Nikki's?
I think it's Nikki's Pub and Grill.
Nikki's Pub and Grill. Okay, so Michael, my husband Michael, is on with us today, as well as Tara's husband Glen. But Michael brought me and the girls there for the very first time just last week, and he made me get this one specific burger that the owner told him, like, oh, you need to get this burger. It's called the Bab, but you need to order it this one specific way in order for it to taste the best. And it was so good. And we also ordered their spinach and artichoke dip, which they make all in-house, and they make it all from scratch, which I love myself some spin dip. But Michael mentioned going there for dinner, and I had never been there. And him and his coworker, Mike Medke, they frequent there for lunch. And I was just like, well, this is a bar, and you're wanting to bring our 3 and our 7-year-old there. Like, I've never been here before. Like, what's it like? Is it family friendly? He said, babe, I wouldn't be bringing you there if it wasn't somewhere that was family friendly. Just trust me. And I was very pleasantly surprised. It's some place that I would definitely feel comfortable bringing the girls again and going and just getting a good meal, especially the spin dip.
It's been there a long time, right?
I remember Nikki's going back 30 some years, and
Yeah.
there was a time it was not family friendly.
Was
Oh,
there?
really?
Yeah.
I was reading the little historical story about it, and yeah, they said that like a lot of the Packer players would hang around there, and it was like a hub spot for what seemed like a lot of partying going on.
It was very popular.
Was it the
Yeah.
original sardine can of Green Bay?
Yeah, with not quite as loud of music. So
Oh, very
Yeah.
swank and dark and
it was a power drinking place at one time.
oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, for pros
For pros like you.
like me.
I mean, their bar is awesome. It's a really, really awesome spot that they have there. And I think you were telling me, Michael, that the bar that they have set up in there isn't actually from that spot, that they had it brought in from someplace else.
Yeah, actually, in 1907, it came from Sweden over on the Santa Maria.
Did you just make that up?
I did.
Okay. No, I swear to God that's what you told
The
me.
only thing true about that is that, yes, it did come from somewhere else.
Yeah, and they had it all decked out for Christmas, and it was nowadays, Glenn, I would feel comfortable
Now,
bringing Mila and Marley in there.
I wouldn't disagree with that. Yes.
Yeah, it's a good spot. So if you're looking for just good local eats, get yourself a burger, get yourself a wrap, get yourself some chicken tenders, spin dip, I don't know, whatever it is.
Get yourself a beer.
Get yourself a beer.
Yeah, during the, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
Every day of the week.
Yeah. So Nikki's Pub, stop in. It's a good little spot.
Yeah. And this week we normally do like our inspirational story ahead of time before
Yeah.
we bring the guests in, but our husbands just have so much wisdom to share.
They truly do.
And and they're just, we thought you guys would add such a great vibe. So we're like, let's just bring you on from the beginning. And why not tell a little bit about our own stories, like of how we met as couples, because I think it really plays into how our business kind of grew and how that we met each other through all of those kind of movements. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to do that.
Yeah. So who wants to go first? Me or you?
You
How
can
we
go
met?
first.
All right, Michael.
How did I inspire you?
How did you inspire me? Well, no, how did I inspire you, Michael?
Well, you see, there's
What was
this-
inspiring when you first saw me? Tell me about it.
well, 2 things come to mind. But there was this
What are those?
local establishment where we were going to school. They had great wings, thighs, and fried pickles. Nice little family restaurant called Hooters.
Oh,
Fancy.
yeah. Walked in the door, and okay, so this is actually it is kind of a cute story, right?
Yep.
Like it's kind of nonsense because yes, 100%. I was working in college at Hooters.
Amazing.
The tips were great. And Michael walked in, and do you tell this story? I feel like a crazy person telling this story because it's really cute when you tell it.
But you tell it so well.
No.
So you went in there with my buddy who wanted to actually investigate this.
Meet.
Yeah, this one worker. And lo and behold, I end up running into Alexis. She fell madly in love with me, head over heels. I was like,
Like on the spot, or did it take a while?
I think it was, the law of attraction.
I ditched him the very first night that we ever hung
It's true. She couldn't take it. She realized falling hard.
No. He walked in, and the story that I heard from his buddy that he was with, his name was Dan. And apparently he walked in and he saw me.
Said, let's bounce. There's no one here.
Oh my God. You're making me sound like a crazy person.
No, she was very cute. She had her little fake glasses on. She pretends that she needs them. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. She kind of looks like a cute librarian, if you're into that. And yeah, I don't know how the rest went. We just kind of exchanged numbers and met up later. I don't know if it was that day or the next. And she bailed on me, and I was like, oh, this is going well. And somehow or another, we ended up hanging out.
I think I texted you like a week later. I'm like, hey, what are you up to? Because I remembered. I was just like, hey, there was that one cute guy that I ditched about a week ago.
Like, sorry, I'm on a date.
Yeah, let's see what he's up to. And I wanted to hang out with just him, like just hang out. And she's like, yeah, sure. I'll see what Dan's up to. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Let's third wheel. and I think Dan came and picked me up in his then car, the Malibu, which he called the Malibute. He's like, welcome to the Malibute. Yeah, I had this guy's kids.
Yeah. Never forget.
And we were inseparable for like a whole week. And I don't know, it just kind of went from just hanging out to like 2-3 months later, we're both like, hey, we're over this. Cause I was at that time not going to school. I was actually withdrawn from all of my classes, and he really wasn't sure that he was completely invested into what he was doing also at the tech college. We were at La Crosse, and we both kind of just decided, hey, we want to get out of town. And he had said a lot of different things about where he was from, which is Hurley, Wisconsin. And me, when I was growing up, I always thought that it would be really, really cool to live in a small little town, the town that has like the cute little downtown area where everybody knows
like
everybody.
A Hallmark
and
movie.
Yeah, kind of. Like that's how I pictured it.
Like you could be like the Prince of Arendelle.
Kind of.
But
I'm more like Sven,
Hurley.
probably.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Prince of Hurley.
The Prince of Hurley.
God.
Oh, God.
And I moved to Hurley for a winter. I worked at some local bars there, and very quickly I learned that Hurley was not for me.
Yeah. Yeah, you said cute little town. Well, you should have, maybe took some baby steps, but you went right for it. So, good for you.
I sure did. Yeah, and then after that winter, we moved back to Green Bay, and shortly after, we had Mila and got engaged and kind of did things like all kinds of backwards, but it works. Here we are, 10 years? 10 years. Yeah,
10
you're
years.
welcome, sir. No, but the cute story that I was trying to get for him to tell at Hooters was that Dan told me that when he walked in and he saw me, he turned to him and he said, that's wifey.
Aw, is that true?
Aw, you're so sweet.
And thuggish.
Very.
I thought it was cute because here I am. I'm a wife
It's true.
and pregnant with her son.
Yeah,
Third baby.
Congrats on that.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. Kids in my ribs.
Yeah, a third one.
Yeah.
Third one, and so there'll be 3 and 8 years, right?
4.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, 3 and 8 years. So they're all 4 years apart, almost exactly to the day. All January babies.
Yep.
It's nuts.
Maybe our grandkids can play with their kids.
Yeah, probably eventually. For now, our kids just babysit their kids, so I'm totally happy with that.
Yeah, me
we don't need to jump into the grandkids thing quite yet, but
Glenn, what don't we know? Is Casey expecting?
No, he's just gained a little weight. Not quite yet.
Oh my goodness.
That scares me, that whole idea.
The whole idea of being,
Oh, my kids having kids.
yeah?
what
Are you going to be
scares
the
you?
kind, yeah.
What scares you about it?
The amount of age that I've accumulated, that's what scares me. It means I'm old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I see a lot of grandparents that have when the grandkids first come, and they're like young and youthful. Like it brings out another side of them, I think.
Are you going to be allowed to be called grandpa, or are you going to come up with like some different name?
Dude, I think is
Dude.
what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Big Daddy Glenn.
Something like that. Big G. No, grandpa would be fine.
Grandpa would be fine. I know, because there's like my friend has her grandparents that are Papa.
Yep. My parents are Nana and Papa.
Yeah, and then everybody has like their own different little like love for what they call a grandpa.
Well, I think like for us, it was like their dad's parents were Grandma and Grandpa, and then my parents were Nana and Papa. So we always knew we didn't have to say like, oh, Grandpa Kosmowski, you know, it was
Yeah.
like, oh, you just know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, especially because we all lived like right here, so everybody was pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, my parents are just Grandpa Jeff and Grandpa Gare.
What's Maxie?
Abba.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Abba for abuelita.
sounds very royal.
Yeah, Abba. She's the only one that has anything, though. Your mom is just Grandma Carol. We're not very creative with the grandparents.
Yep.
I don't like it when they try and name themselves.
Yeah, that's
like
weird.
a grandparent gives themselves. This
A
is what I'll be known as.
You will hence call me.
Glamma.
Oh my god! I feel like that's what your mother would call herself,
Oh my gosh.
Glamma.
Yeah. No. Wow.
but she doesn't.
No, she calls herself Nana. Nana Diana takes a break. That's the name of her blog.
Nana Diana takes a break.
Yeah. Mhm.
I didn't know she had a blog.
Yeah, it's very popular, Alexis. Positive. And really, it was just stuff that happened to my daughters. But she would write it in the first person as if she was there. So she would take my pictures and then write her own version as if she was there. You know, and then people are like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like, you weren't even there. That's not actually what happened, but it's okay. It's an outlet. She was creative for her, and she made a lot of long distance friends.
There you go.
You know, so she really actually made like probably now lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Because like that age group, especially, they all like they're all like texting and typing on their computers all the time. So when my mom first started that, and we'd travel, she'd pull up her laptop and we would fall asleep to like click, 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 like her fake nails on the.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So we're like, oh, mom's blogging again.
I had a pen pal once.
Yeah.
Congratulations. What prison was he in?
It was jail.
It was jail. It was a Huber, so you could still see him on the weekends.
Did he call you Michael? Hi, Michael. I'm hoping to come for a visit.
Nah, I think it was a little boy, but
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's cool. So just a random walk into a restaurant is how you two met.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
fine little establishment.
Yeah. Thanks, Hoots. You brought me my husband. That's why I never knock it until you try it. Good tips and husband material.
There you go.
That's what you'll find there. And wings.
That's like Glen's business. I was just telling somebody this yesterday, like at Prohibition. I cannot believe that all the single women, like 30 and over in the city of Green Bay, why they have not figured out to go get dressed up and sit there
Seriously.
on weekends. Because all the men with great jobs, it's not an inexpensive place to visit. So like people who are there can afford to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like, it's usually more of like a finer establishment, right? So you've got like the little bit more mature men that are there. They've probably been through relationships or, you know,
They're not there to mess around.
they're not there to mess around. They're there
Yeah.
to enjoy their cigar and a glass of bourbon, you know? So I haven't figured out, because when we go to other big cities and you walk into these establishments, these cigar lounges, these women are just to the nines.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just sitting in there. It's a great place to have a cocktail. I'm like, why haven't people figured that out? Like,
I always say that honestly, if I was single and not doing real estate, I mean, granted, those are two really big things, but I would work. I would work there in a heartbeat.
oh yeah. Yep.
Like, why wouldn't you? Rather than working at like Stadium View, I would much rather work at a place like Prohibition, because you're going to get the guy that's going in there buying like the $50 glass of bourbon because that's what he likes. And he's
Right.
going to leave you a $10 tip.
Well, and he's not looking to get drunk on a Tuesday night.
Exactly. You
know.
don't have to deal with drunkenness.
Yeah.
Is this real estate thing working out for you, or what's going on?
Yes, I will be staying
hiring.
your wife's partner.
That's
Just,
good.
I mean, yeah, we're hiring. So.
Michael?
He needs to hire cuter than this.
Oh, you're cute.
That's a shave. You're not going to do that. are you?
Deal breaker.
Okay.
Deal breaker. So Glenn and I, our first date was really
Yeah, how'd
fun.
you meet?
Our first date.
Our first date was fun.
Well, we met on a strictly business level.
Yep.
And then we didn't start dating until after I was your landlord.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, what? You
Yeah.
were her landlord?
I was her landlord.
Yep.
And I just wanted to say for the record, I still made her pay rent for
I did pay rent.
probably a year or two. I don't
Yeah,
even know
2
what it
years, I
was,
think
2
I
years.
rented.
After you guys were dating?
Yeah. So I rented the home because he had two homes. So I rented it and moved in there. And then he sold me the house essentially for what he bought it for.
Yeah.
And that was like a year after I moved in because I had to prove like income on my own, like all these things, right?
Right.
Because when you get divorced, it's a lot like to try to kind of, reestablish, have your own down payment, like all those things. So I was able to do that. So I purchased the home from him, like I think a year and a half into it.
I think so, yeah.
Yep. So I rented for almost 18 months from him. Yep. But our first date was at one of our favorite little coffee shops. So it was at the Attic.
Yep.
And I normally went to work. I dropped the kids off from school and then I go to work at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And he said, well, can we meet for coffee? And so I said, sure. And I said, but can we do early? Because I have to be at work at 9. So let's just meet early, because we didn't know how it was going to go. No pressure. Everybody needs coffee. So it was just kind of this easy yes. So I was there and you were a little bit late.
I was, yeah. So I worked for the fire department in Green Bay at the time. And we had a fire that extended past our shift time, which ends at 7 a.m. We're 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. It's a 24-hour shift. And so that fire kept going, and I got stuck there, and I didn't get to leave until like 10 to 9.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I don't have time to run home and change. And I don't even know if I had a cell phone, much less your number at the time.
Yeah, I think
I
you
must have.
messaged me on LinkedIn or Facebook, one of the two, and
Yeah.
said, I'm going to be late.
That's how up with the times I was.
He had a flip phone,
I had a
actually,
flip
when I
phone,
met
and
him.
I found LinkedIn. That was about the only way I
Oh
knew how to
my
check.
God.
He had a flip phone, and he would text me, be like, hey.
So,
It was an
yeah.
actual flip phone.
Morse code.
The
Yeah.
T9, the
Yeah.
T9 texting.
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal.
Pretty big
It's a
deal.
throwback. That's what I'm going with. So I'm like, I can't even figure it out. I tell you I was going to be running late. So I'm like, screw it. My fire station was just down the street from the coffee shop. So I decided I would stop in that way just to have a cup of coffee because it wasn't going to be really long. And I was kind of filthy and still in my uniform. And I didn't realize we hadn't discussed what I did for a living.
Yeah, I thought he owned a bar.
Yeah.
So I was like, no.
You'd known me for a while at that point,
Yep.
but she didn't realize that I was on the fire department. So I
Mm-hmm.
walked in. I didn't realize it was going to be a shock. I was just
Yeah.
more or less coming to apologize that I wasn't ready. And
Yeah, so I had gone up to buy a cup of coffee because I'm like, okay, I can't wait. Like I needed coffee. So I was just getting a refill. So I was standing in line and all of a sudden I felt like a presence behind me because for those that you can't see, Glen's a tall guy, right? So he's a bigger guy. And plus, so he just has this presence about him. So I'm in line buying coffee and I feel like a kind of presence like close to me. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, why is somebody standing so close to me? in line?
Jesus, is that you?
Yeah, right. and I smelled smoke. Now, what's really interesting about this looking forward is I've only smelled like active fire on you like maybe 3 times since we've been together, which is the same as you guys, almost 10 years now. Have never smelled smoke, but that day when he walked in, because he had just come right from the fire, he smelled like a bonfire. So I was like, what is that smell? Like, why do I smell a bonfire? And I turned around, it was Glen. And he's like, hey, and he's like, here, let's get the hug out of the way. So he gave me a hug real quick. And then, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, can you back up a second? So he backed up and I literally like put my finger like that. I'm like, why are you dressed like that? Like, why are you in blues? I'm like, turn around. And his shirt said fire department. He goes, I'm a firefighter. Like, I'm like, what? You have a real job? And I was like so surprised because I thought he owned a bar. And I had previously been married to somebody who was also an entrepreneur. Plus, I'm an entrepreneur. And so it was kind of like, at the time I wasn't. I had a regular salary job, but I remember thinking, I don't really, and when you have 3 kids and you're single, you don't date for fun. Like that's just not an
Right.
option, right? Like if you're going to date, it's hopefully with the intention of something bigger is happening. You're probably going to be introducing your children, things like this, right?
You would have met him either way because you would have been at Prohibition.
Right. Yep. Eventually.
Look, yeah, you would have met him either way.
Yep. So it's pretty interesting. So then I was like, well, I really had reservations about potentially dating another business owner because it was just so many up and downs, right? It's just a lot when don't have like that stable or steady income. And then I found out he had a real job. And I was
A
like,
real
your,
job.
Your mom's advice.
yeah, my mom's advice. She had so much faith in me. And when I first got divorced, she looked at me and she goes, oh, honey, next time, you need to find a man with a paycheck, like a salary job. Okay. And
Like,
Alan,
how about a firefighter, mom?
yeah. And I was like, well, first of all, I didn't know to be offended. Like, she didn't know if I thought I could take care of myself. First of all, like, there's the number one thing that's wrong with that sentence. But then also, number two, it's like Alan actually did really well for himself. So it really was never an issue about money, you know? So it was just so funny that my mom had this perspective of, oh my gosh, find a salary job. So when I was like, hey, Mom, he has a pension. She's like,
Will that
what?
do?
Yeah. But nobody in our family has ever worn a uniform except for my brother, Ryan.
Was that
He's been in jail a couple times.
Oh my God. I was just about to say, what did he serve? What's going on? I'm thinking about like for our country.
Ryan
No.
has never been in jail.
I thought maybe he had the
No.
magician's uniform.
Oh yeah, the
when
magician's
he was a
uniform.
magician.
Yeah, that too. But you know, so it was just such a different perspective to have, you know, somebody like with that consistent income and just a different mindset, because the firefighter mindset's totally different than a normal person's mindset.
Very
100%
organized.
right all the time.
Yeah, if something's out of place, people die.
It's, yeah.
You know.
Story.
What is the mindset, if I dare ask?
We believe that we're right all the time.
Oh my God, Michael, you should have been a firefighter.
I was going to say, women are all firefighters.
What are you doing in commercial real estate?
Yeah.
What's the
still
matter
have
with you?
time.
Yeah. Well, they think they have an idea, right? They think they have an idea, and then they run it past all 12 people that think just like them, and then they're like, absolutely, you have a good idea.
They all build
We
off of
all-
each other.
yeah. So they all go home to their prospective families like, we have an idea. And we're like, that's not an idea.
They think it's dumb.
Yeah. Dumb's a strong
I mean,
word.
anytime you get 12 guys in a room for 24 hours at a time, you're going to solve all the world's problems. I mean, you're going to figure out everything that needs to be done the right way. And we have it down, and then nobody believes us.
We have it, but nobody else does. Makes perfect sense.
So on this podcast, you guys know that we talk a lot about like inspiring stories, things that, you know, we see an impact in the community, what we see like our business doing. Can you kind of, one of you, whoever, kind of give your perspective of like what you think this business has done for our family, or like having that entrepreneur wife, what that's like in adjusting to that? Because we didn't really realize what we were building was this.
Right. We were just talking about that in our last episode, that we just kind of started with an idea and it just kind of became what it became, and it's still kind of evolving every single day. And I mean, you guys being our husbands, I mean, Glenn, you've gone and you've put signs in for us. Michael, you've gone and you helped me put in signs. I mean, you guys are involved in supporting us in every single which way. So truly, what's that like for you? Because I know it's a shift. Entrepreneurship is demanding.
You mean when you guys open the modeling agency? Is that what we're talking about?
All of our branding shoots are necessary, Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn. Yeah. I'll never forget that when we first opened. He's like, how many photo shoots have you had in comparison to closings?
All of them.
Yeah, you guys might have went backwards there for a minute.
Worked.
It worked.
Go ahead, Michael. You take this one.
Yeah, I'll take a stab at it. Well, I mean, honestly, it's given you, Alexis, just purpose. I know you struggled with that for a while. You didn't really do well with the 9-to-5s, and now being able to give back in the community, I know that means a lot to you. Just kind of what your grandpa used to do, and what maybe your uncle and dad are trying to do now. And I don't know. It's been cool. It's seeing you guys give back to and hearing the stories, or that's your wife and her business partner, and it's just cool to be able to say that and hear people talk about you guys.
Yeah. Love you. Love that you support us the way that we do too, because honestly, like it truly wouldn't be possible for Tara and I to do what it is that we're doing without the support of you guys, because it takes random odd hours for us to be able to do what we're doing. And I mean, especially for you and I, babe, having like such young girls at home. I mean, it's been a struggle for us here and there, you know, like the having to be on the computer or having to take a phone call for a client, like at a time where maybe the girls need us. Well, then, you know, I'm leaning primarily on Michael to kind of pick up the slack of what it is that we have responsibility wise as parents at home. So yeah, I truly couldn't do it without you, and same for you and Glenn. And
Yeah. I mean, what really impressed me was the give back was on the forefront of everything. So it's not like you guys said, we would really want to get involved in real estate. And then later on said, maybe we should give back to the community. From what I saw, you started right with, let's figure out a way to give back to the community. What can we do it? You know, what's our best vehicle and way to do that? And it seems like the real estate, and I realized you both had such long backgrounds in real estate, but it seemed like, okay, we can fit real estate into a give back program. It's almost like that was the idea, is let's start a give back program, and we're going to do it with real estate because that's what we know. And so that part impressed me. And I know you had been talking about real estate since we met, and a lot. We used to, our dates consisted of open houses on Sundays for a while. We'd be in a different city and it would be a Sunday, and she'd wake up and she's like, let's go to some open houses. And I'm like, we're not buying a house in St. Louis, Missouri. So why are we going to open houses? I'm just interested in it. You were always, and you had been doing it for a long time. And then just this constant talk. So to open your own brokerage, I thought was a logical, if not scary, step for me, because I didn't understand anything about the business itself. So, it was fun to see you put yourself into something that interested you, but with that give back as a forefront. And so, I applaud the whole idea is amazing.
Yeah,
we had a lot of people that were kind of in doubt of what it was that we were doing too. So
try selling cigars sometime.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
What? That's a
so you got it. You understood.
Yeah. I actually said that.
Yeah.
This is not a business plan. Like a cigar lounge, it's not a business plan.
As we just met a potential new client that is
At a cigar
probably going to do business with us because you sell cigars.
Yep. Yeah, I appreciate what Glen is saying to that too, because I have never not felt supported.
Yep.
There's a lot of guilt that comes though when you open your own company, because like you're saying, the odd hours. I mean, there's times I'm like, hey, I've got to get this document out. I don't have, like, we're on a deadline and it's 10:30 at night, and I'm writing up a contract. And that's like, oh, but while I'm on here, I'm going to finish this like marketing piece really quick, and it's just so hard to like shut it down when you're in the mindset of go, 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 especially as he just retired June 1. It's like, oh my gosh, like now he's home more. And that's typically, like, if you look at the lifespan of the firefighter, right? Like, okay, you retire, then you spend time with your partner. Like, that's what you do. And it's like, just kidding. I'm like, glad you're retiring, but I just started a company. So that's super awesome. So it's like this opposite, Glen's slowing down and like being able to watch Netflix if he wants to in the middle of the day or whatever he wants to do.
I always tell people, if you're wondering what my wife looks like, look at the back of your phone, because that's what I see all the time.
I know. It's so true. I've been trying to be better at night, especially, but it's like, it's constant because you always have to be available. But it's part of why our company is growing, because of the communication we have.
Yep.
So it's like a double-edged sword. Like we're applauded for our communication, because there's a lot of people in real estate don't communicate well. So we're applauded for our communication, but at the same time, it means you're available 24/7. So to find that balance and know that takes a toll on the other side.
Yeah.
We recognize it. So we appreciate you guys supporting us.
Yeah, I wasn't always there. I mean, I was definitely, there's times where I was like, really? Come on, shut it down. And I mean, that's why you guys are where you're at.
I mean, yeah, that's never had that understanding or that faith in me. But I mean, because of exactly what you were saying, we have to be available constantly. It can cause a lot of stress, and it's a lot to have to work through. And then when he's stressed out, that triggers my guilt. And I mean, just as women, I think that guilt is just like that little green monster that's constantly in the back of everything. So it's just, it's a struggle too. But
well, and two, like, I think we're trying to create dominance in our industry, especially as women, and then as a new company. So like we're so used to being like, this is who we are, this is what we're doing. And it's like, oh, we don't have to do that at home. But you forget, because you're like, no, this is what I'm doing, and this is why we're doing it. And you're
I
like,
am
I
legacy
know.
first.
Yeah. And Glen's like, calm down, I get it.
oh God. If I hear that every single morning, I'll be like, legacy first. This is Mike Lane, legacy first.
Yeah. How can we make your day?
I did say to go back and look. I wish I had it written down. I think I do somewhere. But I think Glen was the one that came up with the word legacy.
Were you?
I think when we were doing all these business
We were
names,
brainstorming all of our names. Yeah.
Roots, foundations.
Yeah.
Like all those things. I'm pretty sure Glen was the one that said, what about the word legacy? And I think I texted that to you.
Was it?
Yeah.
Glen.
I'm pretty sure it was.
The OG of legacy is truly Captain Glen Sherman.
I think it was.
I
Yeah.
don't want to say I'm brilliant, but I don't mind if you guys say
You don't have to.
Well, we're
you
gonna
have a
see-
presence about you.
Well,
yeah, apparently.
Well, we're
I
gonna
smell
see
like
how
a campfire.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, and we're gonna see how brilliant you are in just a minute when me and Alexis battle you guys to raise
Oh
some
yeah,
funds
in our
for-
game.
Good
in our
luck.
game as we raise some money for charity. So we will do that.
We'll see.
Yeah. So, Glenn, you own your cigar lounge,
Yes.
your bourbon lounge. You are a firefighter.
Not anymore.
Well, you were
You were
retired.
retired.
Still at
Now,
heart.
painter. He has made one of the most beautiful pieces that we have in our house. It's right on our staircase. We actually just got complimented on that yesterday.
Nice.
So, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite piece in the house. I absolutely love it.
you.
It makes our staircase our staircase. Babe, why don't you tell us about what it is that you do?
I actually work for a company in town called Commercial Horizons. They're a local real estate development group, and they do a whole lot of things, not just real estate, but I actually do project management for them. So I do from build outs to helping, with pro formas and seeing if the deals work out and all of that jazz. So it's fun. I like to just interact with people, new people on a daily basis. That's probably the most fun for me. I'm a kind of a talker, if you will. And so it never gets old, meeting new people, like I said, but it comes with its challenges, like everything. I actually work with my wife's father, which we have our ups and downs. And
Working a family is always tough.
It is.
it is, but we manage, and it's probably going to be for the better long term because, you get checked on a lot of things that maybe you wouldn't otherwise. And yeah, I'd like to think it's going to make it a little easier in the long run, but we'll see.
And it's real estate too. So you're really, that's just more the commercial side, right? So
Correct.
there's, So so you at least have a concept too and understanding of what you're doing then. That
Oh
kind of
yeah,
plays in it.
absolutely. Like if I am ever confused about something or working through a process with a client or whatever, I'm constantly bouncing ideas off of Michael. Like, how is it that you would handle this? How is it that you would put this? Because one of the things that he touched on is the fact that he's a talker and he has a very, very good way of being able to communicate certain, even like frustrations. He's really good at just like putting out there very professionally. And that's something that, being new to entrepreneurship or being new to this portion, the real estate portion of customer service, that's something that you kind of learn by doing. And he's just naturally very good at. So I run a lot of that kind of stuff by him and he's very helpful.
Wordsmith, if you will.
A little wordsmith.
Wordsmith then. Same. Are you good at texting too?
Well, I'm still trying to figure it out. I did graduate from the flip phone, though.
Oh, you did.
I did.
Oh,
He's
that's
really good at sending reels.
you're a real sender.
Yeah. Some people
yeah.
say, does a bear shit in the woods? And my go-to is, does Mike Lane send reels?
He's good at the emojis
Yes.
too. He's already guiding me on emojini. I can't even say
Emojini?
emojini.
Emoji.
Emoji.
There's
What
the
is
word
that?
of
That's
the
an
day.
adjective. It is.
It's an
Webster, if
adjective.
you're listening.
It's not a skill everyone has. But
Oh man.
yeah, I'm fluent.
Yeah.
Well,
Michael also loves hunting. So
oh,
I don't know if you knew about this.
Yep.
so much hunting.
But he told me his dream is to make enough money to buy a small island in international waters where he can hunt humans for sport. So
oh,
Yep.
really?
And hide all my
Wow.
money there. Yep.
And hide your money. Oh, that's two birds with one stone. I mean, yeah.
I was thinking like red stags or like swordfish.
Glenn
I don't know.
Glenn went right to
goes
the
for
humans.
humans.
Awesome.
Nothing more competitive
the
than,
ultimate prey.
mano y mano.
Well, when we come back, we are going to try to raise a bunch of money for nonprofits. And we're going to do that with really fun games and I think we're going to pit us two against you two and see who can win the most.
Maybe we'll mix up the teams, but
mix up the
we
teams, but-
think we're pretty awesome together.
Yeah.
Who's making up the game? But
It doesn't matter.
It's
we'll
us.
let you know. It's us. Well, that was fun hanging out with our husbands for a little bit.
Always a joy.
And they love each other too.
They really do. They may not seem like it when you're listening, but they get very excited for each other.
They do. They adore each other.
Yeah, it's really sweet. It makes our job a little easier.
Oh yeah. It's always easier when, did you ever have like a friend, but like you don't necessarily like the husband or the boyfriend? And
Oh,
then
yeah.
it makes it very difficult to like plan things or want to do things. So it's so nice when you're husbands
Get along.
and like each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this episode will be a little bit longer than our typical episodes are. So this one's actually going to be broken into a two-parter. So make sure that you continue to listen to the fun with our husbands in next week's episode. But for this week, please remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow us on Apple Podcasts.
All the things.
All the things, wherever you can listen to us. Please tune in, spread the word. We're here.
Yeah, and give us a little love on social media. Remember, for every like, share, comment, post, anything that you do for us or with us, you get entered to win a $25 gift card. And this one is to Nikki's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, to Nikki's. So we'd love to share the love of the local business as well. So thank you to Caribou Coffee and to the Near North Title Ladies for sponsorship of our podcast.
Absolutely. And until you tune in for next week, remember to always stay really relatable.